We got a great show. Is it Christmas Eve?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Is it? It's not Christmas Eve, is it? Well, yes, we're darn close.
Our Christmas Eve show, yes.
No, it's not. I mean, please don't, because people will think that this is a rerun.
It's not?
It's not a rerun. Tonight's Friday, December... 16th. There you go, December 16th.
Oh, so it's not a rerun.
It's not a rerun. It's a brand new show.
And it's not Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve is,
in fact, week from now.
A week from now,
yeah,
yes.
That's right.
But our big Christmas party
is tonight.
Is tonight.
Our lovely Christmas party this evening, by the way. And of course, the audience is invited. And one other thing, you follow me, you're dead. Oh, we had our big Christmas party Friday night. Did you have a nice time, Paul?
It was a gas. I had a lovely time. Food was good.
Food was good. I think it was a very successful evening, don't you believe?
Yes.
And Connie Chung was there with her husband, Andre the Giant.
Now, I left kind of early, but I heard you got a little wild after I left. Is there any truth to
the only thing I did is I did drop my pants, but it wasn't really...
I heard about that, and this is absolutely genuinely true. You dropped your pants at the Christmas party.
Yeah.
You waited until a little later on.
Yeah.
Who was around at the time?
Tom Brokaw. I thought I'd get on the nightly news if I did something like that in front of Tom, but no, to no avail. It didn't happen. Wow. But we had a lovely time. All right, here now, tonight is the big holiday Christmas party, and I'll start out with the general. One time we had rented a big space downtown. Yeah. Remember this? We used to go to a big space. I didn't even know what it was. You remember what it was? It was some big building, a big space, a big party space.
Loft.
Yeah, some kind of phony kind of thing downtown, right? Huh?
Somebody named O'Neill had a loft.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, and it was just for big parties and stuff.
Yeah.
And like an hour into it, we were all stunned and horrified because two people, one person we knew, one person we didn't know, were like making out right in the middle of the party, and rolling around on the floor and under the table.
Yeah.
Okay. That's just a beginner. That's just a starter. That's just an icebreaker. Okay. Now here's another story. I showed up one year, and Bill Wendell, God rest his soul, used to be our announcer on the Late Show here, or whatever we used to call it at the other place. I show up at the holiday party, and I see this. I see him and Howard Stern like choking each other.
Yeah. I saw it too.
And then finally, and then Wendell actually threw Howard Stern out of the party.
Ejected him from the party, yeah.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
And I said... And he says, he can't get away with that. And I said, what? He said, crashing the damn party. And I said, Bill, he was on the guest list.
Yeah.
Another year, when we worked at NBC, we were owned by General Electric. General Electric invented, the light bulb, or they invented the three-way bulb is what they did.
They invented the three-way.
And I always used to say to myself, I wonder what's next, a four-way bulb? So, and then Jack Welch, who's the outgoing CEO of General Electric, regarded as the most powerful, most scary global corporate manager in the world, used to be known as Neutron Jack, because, the buildings would remain standing, but everybody would be gone. He would just come in and fire everybody. Yeah. The building, what happened to that 1,000? They're gone! I fired them! So he comes running up, and he's got like a gift basket, and he comes straight for me at the Christmas party, and he says, "Hi, Jack Welch here. We love it when you call us weasels." Well, that's good news for stockholders, Jack. Now, here's the best Christmas party story I know. I mean, maybe you got a better one, but this is the best one I know. We used to have a guy that we worked with on the old Late Show, late night. A stagehand called Al Maher. Do you remember Al Maher?
Oh, of course, yeah.
He was sweet guy, had been in the business for years and years and years and years and years. And at the party, like people often do, you have a cocktail and you have one or two, and Al had like 19. And as the evening went on, people were kind of thinking, "Oh, look, Al's really enjoying himself." And then, as so often happens, there was a little bit of trouble. And the trouble was Al went up to one of our other guests, Tom Brokaw, and Al told Tom Brokaw to go f*** himself. we just don't want any of that.
Oh, you don't need that.
You see what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
trouble? Yeah. Okay. I wanted to share that with you for the holidays. We'll be right back here with Academy Award winner Juliette Binoche, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, here's tonight's top 10 list. This is the time of year for Christmas office parties. Category tonight, top 10 signs you're at a bad Christmas office party.
A lot of them are great. A lot of the office parties are just terrific. A lot of fun, you know, from start to finish.
Exactly. Well, sometimes you can go to a bad one. And here now, top 10 signs you're at a bad office Christmas party. And I've told you the story about the worst Christmas party we ever had.
I want to hear about that.
It was a long time ago, and it was we made the mistake of having it indoors, and after this we decided to have them outdoors where people could burn off some of the alcohol. And a very dear man, Al Maher, an old stagehand who worked at NBC, was there, and he had been drinking, and Al enjoyed a drink, as everybody does now and then.
Sure, of course.
And Tom Brokaw, our good friend from NBC, was there. And toward the end of the evening, Al Maher turned to Tom Brokaw and said, "Why don't you go yourself?"
That was the... Yeah.
So we just don't...
After
that, we said... We said, no, we're not going to... What a night that was.
Tom Brokaw's one of our favorites.
Well, so was Al Maher. We liked them both. It's just one of those things. And from that point on, every Christmas party was outdoors. We'd go skating. And there would be hot chocolate.
Sure, that's how that happened. Now I understand. Yeah.
Okay. Alec Baldwin and the lovely Shakira on the program. Ladies and gentlemen, here's tonight's top 10 list. Let's go. Well, it's that season again. It's the season of the office Christmas party. The category tonight, things you don't want to hear at your office Christmas party.
Don't want to hear, okay.
Things you don't want to hear because people get drunk.
Yeah.
There was we had a Christmas party years and years ago, and we had the show over at NBC.
Yeah.
And every year we'd had them inside.
Yes.
And this one Christmas party, people got so drunk and so many unpleasant things happened that from that year on, we started having them outside at the skating rink.
Yeah.
And it was, remember, Al Maher, one of our favorite stagehands over there at NBC.
Yeah.
And Al had been drinking all night, and a tremendous guy. And Tom Brokaw and his wife, Meredith, came late to the party, about 10:30, 11. And Al walked right up to Tom Brokaw and he said, "Why don't you go yourself?" And it was because of that.
Ever since then.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we from that point on,
always had them
outside.
Always outside
Yes.
after that. Yeah.
It was, but there were no hard feelings afterwards.
Because Tom is a lovely guy.
Tom is a lovely guy, and
Yeah.
Al Maher a lovely guy also.
Sure.
Just that he enjoyed a little, and why not?
What
So,
happens, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I was at a Christmas party last night. I came late to an office Christmas party. Not ours, but one from a sister network of our organization. And a gal said, "Let's do shots and dance."
Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And did you do that?
Well, I said, "You're 22, and I'm a 56-year-old man with 2 children." She said, "I don't care about that."
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got carried away. I'm still thinking about
That's
it.
all right.
I haven't been able to get it out of my mind. Yeah, it just happens.
That's also a great story,
Yeah.
Paul.
Well, not like the Alma. Nobody said go yourself, but it's still a wonderful, thought that I have in my mind. She was a lovely girl, too.
I'm sure she was. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, things you don't want to hear at your office Christmas party.
That's one that you do want to hear.
I think that one you do want to hear. Yes.
But this,
I'd be happy to hear that.
Yeah, this is things you don't.
Let's do shots and dance.
Dance.
Would it be something if Al Maher had said that to Tom Brokaw? You gonna do some shots and dance, Tom? Then you'd have something, wouldn't you? Top 10 things you don't want to hear at your office Christmas party. Here we go, number 10. I think the icing on this cake is whiteout. Number 9. The bar will be open from 9 to 9:05. Number 8. I've never seen chunky eggnog before. Number 7. My New Year's resolution is to stop videotaping the men's room. Number 6. Ooh, another windbreaker with the company logo. This will help me put my kids through college. I'm trying not to have my feelings hurt by that. Number 5, you're supposed to sit naked on the Xerox machine, not the shredder. Number 4, put on Regis Philbin's Christmas album. Number 3, why is Shecky naked?
You got to know him.
Yeah, exactly. Number 2, there's Letterman, get him! And the number 1 thing you don't want to hear at your office Christmas party, yeah, a glass of watery cider and a cookie makes up for a year of bull. So the next year and from there on after, we had the party outside.
Outside, yeah.
Where people could skate and burn off some of the alcohol.
It diffuses the energy.
Yeah, a little bit.
What I want to know is, I'm sure everyone here is on the edge of their seat, what happened to Al Maher after the Christmas party?
I
can't believe
he had a long, lovely career at NBC, and
NBC, where, in Anchorage? They said
No, he still worked there. Everything was fine.
He was still at 30
Forgive and
Rock?
forget, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I can't have you at the Christmas party, like he's sitting there having a drink going, who's the most important person on this skating rink? Wait, there's Brokaw.
That's exactly what it was.
Who the hell would ever do that?
But we loved Al. Everybody loved him. Regarding Al Maher, the stagehand, he is retired. Al Maher is retired, and there's another little bit of information. One time, he took a leak in the backstage sink. So there you go.
Can you see this guy now? He's like, what? He's like 75 years old. He's living in, like, Daytona Beach, and he's in a library going, where's the head librarian? Go yourself. He's just addicted to that.
It's Dave's Gift-a-Palooza. What a show we have for you folks. I want to tell you something. I know a lot of you people just came in here because you get tossed out of bars. But this, you've had a little too many. Why don't you go home and sleep this off? And you come right in, and we're happy to have you. What a show we have for you tonight. One of the greats in the world of television, one of the greats in the world of journalism, one of the greats in the world of just being a guy. You know, if you want to be a guy, this is a guy you want to be. You know what I'm saying?
Boy, I know what you're saying.
Take a look at the spectrum of guys. On the one end, you have guys like Richard Simmons. That would be
on the one.
That's
hand.
one end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
On the other end, you have our guest tonight, Tom Brokaw, is joining us. I think what I'm going to do now is tell a holiday story, because it is the holidays, and it happened just about this time of year, many, many years ago, when Paul and I did this show at NBC. Paul and I, before we came here to CBS, had this kind of similar show at NBC.
Yes.
And I don't know if you read what happened, but they caught Paul stealing, and they caught him stealing typing paper, to give you an idea how long ago that was.
Yeah.
And some whiteout. Was it whiteout as well?
There was some whiteout involved, sir, yes.
And so I said, if Paul goes, I go. And then CBS, the bottom feeders that they are, they picked us up. And here we are.
Yeah, I'll never forget you. I'll never forget you for that.
Well, God bless you.
I
right
love
back
you,
to
David Letterman. I love you, David
Paul
Letterman.
Schaefer. Thank you.
You're stuck by a man. You're stuck by a man.
So every year, this time of year, we would have a big holiday late night. It was then late night with me.
Right.
We'd have the big late night staff party,
yes.
and it was a huge thing, and a lot of people came to it. And we found that it started out sort of small, and then progressively got larger and larger. And over the years, in addition to getting bigger and bigger, it started to get weird. I mean, really weird. I mean, you would see staff members under tables making out. and combinations that I can't even begin to describe to you. Just as weird as you can imagine.
Yeah.
And it was the booze that we were serving, you know. Everybody was just gooned on whatever it was they were drinking. And the fact that it was indoors and there was no way to burn the alcohol off.
Sure.
So the last time we had the big late night staff party indoors, here's what happened. It was about 10 o'clock, 10:30, and guess who dropped by? Tom Brokaw.
Yeah.
God bless Tom Brokaw, and his lovely wife Meredith came by. They didn't need to come by. They don't need us. We're like gum on their shoe, honestly. They got important things to do. You know, they hang around with the real people of the world. But they said, okay, let's go over and toss some crumbs Dave's way. So they show up, and sadly, at about 10:30, everybody really was in very serious trouble. Alcohol poisoning is...
Yeah.
And we used to have a stagehand crew that was just wonderful, and guys that had been in the business for forever and ever, and a close-knit group of guys, and really old-time stagehand guys, and hard-working and dear, sweet guys. You wouldn't know a better group of guys than our old stagehands.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them's name was Maher.
Yes.
And Al was just a tremendous guy, and he had been around forever and knew everybody and knew everything, and was... but Al really enjoyed drinking.
Yeah.
So he had come to the party, and we're all having fun, and nobody's really paying any attention, and we're checking to see if who's under the table this year and all of that. And before we know it, Al has worked his way over to where Tom Brokaw and his wife Meredith are standing around chatting amiably with other staff members, and Al's like this.
Yeah.
And he's very polite. He kind of waits his turn for a pause in the conversation, and Tom stops talking, and he looks over at Al, and Al says, "Why don't you go yourself?" And so, thank you. A little something for the holidays. And so, ever since then, we would have the big Christmas party outdoors. Where you could go ice skating or something like that.
That's how that started.
I'll never forget Al's stagehand buddies carrying him down the steps. Good night, Al.
Good night,
Merry
Al.
Christmas.
Merry
Thanks
Christmas.
for stopping by. Also joining us on the program tonight, here's some music for you, everybody. Cold War Kids.
Wait
there
till
you
you
go.
see this band. This is my favorite band. This is my favorite band right here. Favorite band.
You have to get an extra large CD player for this one. It
No,
won't
Dave,
fit in
Dave.
a standard CD
Dave,
player.
that's something called a record. Record album.
Oh, yeah.
Record album.
That's right.
Long before you were born, we had this stuff called vinyl.
Cold War Kids,
yeah.
Paul's favorite band, I
Favorite band.
understand.
Wait till we hear 'em.
Okay, we'll look forward to that. Now, I'm told now, via this card, that later on in the program we have something special planned.
Ooh.
Something very, very special planned, and I can give you a couple of hints.
They know.
I don't think we need to be sarcastic.
They know.
It's not flattering.
I know.
It's the holiday season, all right? And it involves a giant fan
Yep.
and two beautiful women. Why don't you? Well, here's what I was talking about. We had the Late Show party the other night, and there's some exciting... I remember one thing odd happened. Biff came up to me about halfway through the party.
You know,
Hey, Biff, how you doing?
I wanted to say something to you for a long time.
Okay.
I hate you. I've always hated you. And I'm not the only one. The staff, the crew, the guests, even the audience. You make everybody sick.
You know, Biff, there's no booze in that eggnog.
But how about those decorations? Did you see those decorations at the party? That was a blue chip affair, wasn't it? Look at that. PS 48. I've just been handed a note here from the producer. She always likes to remind me whenever I tell the Al Maher Christmas story that in every studio or a theater anywhere, in production, television, any kind, they have a slop sink backstage. And she just reminded me that one time Al took a leak in the slop sink. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brings a smile to my face. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Now, do you remember the night that Al Maher came up to you?
I do. It's part of the price of living in the wicked city. I want to say to the out-of-towners who are here, you have to be careful. You're in a city of temptations. When I first moved to New York, I succumbed to that. I made a lot of mistakes, and Donald Trump gave me a second chance.
Oh,
I'm very
that's
grateful.
a great story.
It's going to be okay.
I'm kind of torn by an idea here because tonight is the Late Show Christmas party. Now, the Late Show Christmas party over the years has evolved and has taken many different forms, and the current form, kind of a small gathering at a little neighborhood restaurant, bar kind of a place. But in the beginning, years and years and years ago, when we first started at NBC, we would have like a whoop-de-doo. I mean, we would... We would get a big place, and then we would invite hundreds of people.
It's true.
And there would be a lot of chow, and by chow I mean food. The food
full spread.
Full spread, lobster,
yeah.
the full spread.
Yeah.
And open bar and everything. And as that progressed year after year after year, it became less of an occasion of joy and more of an occasion of danger.
Yes. It's true.
And you would see strange things. You would see people that you saw in the halls every day behaving oddly at the Christmas party.
Yes. Yeah, that's...
And you would see odd combinations of people making out. And I know that seems like, romantic mistletoe, but it was actually sickening. But we kept going because we wanted to, identify with the holiday and thank everybody for their hard work.
Sure.
And then one year, something finally happened that sort of broke the camel's back, put the straw that broke the camel's back. And after that, we decided no more of this. We have to have the party outside, and it became a skating party where the alcohol would be hopefully burned off on the skating rink. So here's what happened. Do you remember this, Paul?
Yeah.
It's kind of a classic annual holiday story, so I'm glad you folks are...
Yes, that's nice.
Yeah. Please indulge me. And we had everybody, hundreds and hundreds of people, and one of our stagehands, a very nice guy and a really old-school stagehand guy, had worked in the show community here in New York City forever. His name was Al Maher. And Al was a great guy, lovable but gruff, but by and large a very nice, sweet fellow. And just to give you sort of a visual image, his hair kept getting, well, it was always like a Florsheim catalog.
The whole catalog.
Yeah, it was colors of hair that you would only see on shoes. Actually. And we loved Al.
Of course.
After a hard day at the studio doing a show, Al was no stranger to, having some fuel.
Who doesn't once in a while?
So we were at a big place downtown, a big party place. I don't know what the heck it was, but it was way...
One of those lofts that you can rent for a party.
That's right. It was a big loft where you can rent it and have a party and pretend like it's a fun kind of a thing. And... So now people are, by and large, and guess who shows up? Well, I'll be damned. It's the anchorman of the CBS Evening News, Tom Brokaw, and his beautiful wife, Meredith. And there they are, and we're all thrilled because...
Yeah, the anchorman of...
I'm sorry, NBC Evening News. Forgive me.
But we love it.
That's right. I'm confusing networks and parties. And
I can't blame you after all these...
So Tom Brokaw is there. I think I'm drinking on the show.
Invented this stuff.
So now Mr. Anchorman shows up, straight and narrow. Everybody is going to be polite. You have to be deferential because he's the guy.
Yeah.
When they say Anchorman, it means more than just the guy who reads the news. He's the face of the network.
Of the whole network,
Tom Brokaw.
And it was our network at the time.
So did I get it right that time? NBC?
NBC, and we were on NBC
We were on NBC at the time, that's right, yeah. And oh my God, there's Al Maher. And he is working his way, and when I say working, He's getting over to see Tom Brokaw, and so I think I just want to lean in and hear this conversation. Because they've seen each other in the hallways of NBC for years and years and years. They both go way back. But you know, clearly Al Maher is now lit up. And so I get over there just in time to hear this exchange between Tom and Al Maher. And Tom says, "Oh, hi, Al. Nice to see you. Merry Christmas." Al Maher says, "Why don't you go f yourself?" Merry Christmas. A great story. And then it was the very best Christmas ever.
It sure was.
Now I'm going to put this packet aside here.
Put it aside?
Put it aside. It's Christmas time, and every year, as kind of a Christmas tradition, what I like to do is tell a true life story from the annals of The Late Show.
Oh, okay.
And this is actually something that happened at a Christmas party when it was not The Late Show, when it was late night.
Yes.
We took over late night from Tom Snyder. Tom Snyder called it the Tomorrow Show.
That's right, yeah.
Tomorrow Show. We took it over and we called it Late Night. And then Paul and I got fired.
Fired, yeah.
And then Conan O'Brien took it over, yeah. and then we came over here, and then Jay Leno went to the Tonight Show, and then Jay Leno got fired. And then Conan O'Brien went from the Late Night Show to the Tonight Show.
Tonight Show, yeah.
So and Jay Leno has a detective show on at 10 o'clock now. And so that's how that works.
What does he do? Does he go into the forensic lab over there and he holds up the film and he says,
No, he solves crimes with his chin.
With his chin?
But that's another story. Don't get me started on that.
I didn't mean to get you started.
No. So anyway, but the good news is we're all working, and then and Jimmy Fallon is on our old show.
He's doing the late night show now. Yeah.
So we used to decide we wanted to have a big Christmas party, and we would invite as many people as we could because it was fun, and we would pick out a nice place, and there'd be like a lovely thing.
Buffet. Full spread.
Yeah, full spread. That's right.
Yeah.
And plenty of booze. And a lot of people would come, and there was a guy, a very nice man, who was one of our stage hands, Al Maher.
Oh, yes, Al Maher.
Al Maher, and he was an interesting fellow, a lifelong stage hand, and a guy who enjoyed drinking, as everybody does.
Sure.
And Al invented the comb over. Nobody had. And his hair was a combination of the colors auburn and amethyst.
Yes.
He had.
Yes, it was multicolored.
You never quite. I mean, depending on what sort of light you caught him in.
That's right. Yeah.
But a lovely guy.
Great guy.
And then, so on this particular Christmas party, Al was, when I showed up, and I'm the host of the party, Al was already in the soup. He was gone.
Gone.
He was long gone. Get your hands off it. A lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
So about 10:30, I look over and I see Tom Brokaw, who in those days was the anchor of the NBC Nightly News and a dear friend of ours. And he came on the show early and often and was a great guy, still a great guy, and his lovely wife, Meredith. And no two people suggest the notion of urbane erudition more than those two.
Oh, yeah.
And I see Al Maher talking to the two of them. And I thought, well, this is something maybe I want to be present for.
Okay.
So I go over just in time to hear Al Maher say to Tom Brokaw, "Oh yeah, why don't you go yourself?"
Well,
and that's
what a heartwarming. Yeah. That's a lovely story, a lovely seasonal
Thank you very
story.
much.
Yeah, beautiful.
And then Al Maher's stagehand buddies rallied to Al's support, and carried him out of the party.
Yeah.
It was the very
That is
best
just
Christmas
beautiful.
ever, ladies and gentlemen.
Best Christmas ever.
We'll be right back with Tobey Maguire, folks.
Tell lies thinking I can't see. You can't cry 'cause you're laughing at me.
I don't know how other people run their talk shows, and I don't care.
Oh.
Here's how we do ours. I come to work early in the morning, and the staff comes in, and I fix. I don't fix. I arrange a lovely brunch for them.
Nice.
And we sit around, and we're eating our smoked salmon and our bagels.
Yes.
With our cream cheese and whatever else we're having with our brunch. We're having what? Capers. Capers. Did I forget
Gotta
capers?
Yeah, how could you?
Boy, is my face red. And I say to the staff, I say, kids, what shall we do on the program today? And this morning, overwhelmingly, and it comes up almost every day, they said, please, Dave, tell us one of the hilarious Late Show Christmas party stories. And I said, okay. And I said, kids, which one do you want to hear? Because there's a wide variety of Late Show Christmas party stories. And we used to have it at the Rockefeller Plaza, the skating rink, where the beautiful tree is and the ice skating rink. And we felt like being outside and doing some exercise would ameliorate the effects of alcohol poisoning. And then we originally used to have it indoors, and that's when we had to move it out of doors, and that's when we canceled it altogether. And I'll tell you why. Years and years and years ago, this may have been our first late night Christmas party when the show was called Late Night, and then they gave it to Conan. Paul and I were fired. They gave that show then to Conan O'Brien, and then he went and took over the Tonight Show.
Yes.
And now Jimmy Fallon is doing the Late Night Show, and we're here, and Jay is doing a show at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So,
A fantastic variety.
yeah, everything worked out. Yeah, no, everybody gets a show. So, thank you. Thank you so much. So we rented a big hall, and everybody was really, really drunk. And what was good for us was that a few very, very important people came to the party. And we'd only been on the air a couple of years, and we thought, wow, look at this. This gives us, as they say, veritas.
Oh, yeah.
Gravitas.
Yeah.
Whatever it gives you.
Gravitas and veritas.
Yeah. And so this particular night, guess who shows up? The most trusted man in America, Tom Brokaw, and his lovely wife, Mrs. Meredith Brokaw. And so it's sort of like, oh my God, we must be a real TV show because Tom Brokaw is there and is lovely. And he wouldn't, they wouldn't go out if it wasn't,
Yeah.
So we were all thrilled. Well, the whole crew was there, and the stagehands were there. And in those days, the stagehands enjoyed a little snort. And there was one of our favorite stagehands. We loved them all. We had many great ones. Jimmy Fitzgerald, of course, and Tommy, and Al Maher, who is this gentleman right here. And Al had been working in the studio over there a long time. And Al, I don't know if you can tell by looking at him, but he enjoyed a drink occasionally. He's what you call a country club drinker. So everything's going along great, and there's Tom and Mrs. Brokaw, and they're looking like the belle of the ball, and everybody's happy. And pretty soon I look over there, and I see Al Maher, and he's standing next to Brokaw. Oh. And I thought, well, they know each other. They've been in the building for saying. Yeah. And then somebody said to me, "You better go over there and watch Al." So I go over there, and Al is just. What is it? And here's Brokaw right here, and Al just keeps doing this. And finally, I don't know, Tom's saying something, and Al says, like he means it, like he feels it. He says, "Why don't you go ask yourself?" Thank you. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed our annual Late Show Christmas party. Thank you.
Heartwarming. Beautifully done.
We're still not sure whether he was talking to Tom or Meredith.
Well,
Time now to check in with Bruce and Linda to see what's coming up tomorrow on the Weekend Late Show. Kids, Bruce, Linda, take it away.
Thanks, Dave. We're hoping the fun you're having tonight will snowball right into the weekend with us. In fact, I visited a few of the tri-state area's finest ski slopes to see the state-of-the-art in snowmaking technology. My toes are still a little frozen.
Good stuff. Hey, do you like gingerbread, Linda?
Yes.
Me too. But forget about the same old gingerbread man cookies. We're going to meet a local baker who will make a life-size gingerbread likeness of your pet, from dogs and cats to exotic fish.
Speaking of cookies, is all of that holiday sugar turning your teenager into a Grinch?
I'm taking the fifth on that one, Linda. My 14-year-old barely speaks to me now.
Well, our health editor, Tammy Van Buskirk, has the answers, and it's fascinating.
All that plus road condition reports and diet tips tomorrow on the Weekend Late Show. Back to you, Dave.
Thank you very much, Bruce and Linda on the Weekend Late Show. I love those kids. We'll be right back with the top 10 list of Jude Law, everybody.
You okay, Al? Pass the strudel, Grandma. Okay, all right. Thanks, Al.
Pass the strudel, Grandma.